this, get the show on the road, and I have 12:15. So, good noontime and welcome to Rotary, everyone. We're so glad that you're here with us today. We've got a great program planned just for you. And to start us off, Mark has volunteered to bring us to order. So, Mark, if you would please unmute yourself and get us started, sir. That's my fault for muting you. There you are. Oh, undo. You're muted again. There we are. Perfect.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. All yours.
Okay. Let us pray. Almighty God, our creator and provider, we thank you for the gift of life, and we remember the sick. We thank you for the gift of good health, and we remember the seriously ill. We thank you for the gift of family and friends, and we remember the lonely. We thank you for the gift of shelter, and we remember the homeless. Dear God, may all these gifts and remembrances stir us to dedicated service so that your gifts to us may be used for others. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
And Brenda, may we have our pledge today?
Of course. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brenda. And Joe, if you're in your sound studio, would you mind leading us in song today?
All right, good luck. Rotary, that spells Rotary. Rotary is known on land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, one profits most, who serves the best. Rotary, that spells Rotary.
Thank you, Joe. Magnificent job. I think we found a new job for you. Thank you.
Your doctor bills from busting your eardrums, I will take care of it. It'll be great.
The invoices will be in the mail. Thank you. And let's see, do we have any visiting Rotarians today? I don't think we do, probably because I forgot to invite everybody. Let's see, we have a guest, Nicole. She is our speaker today, so we'll get to her in just 1 minute. And Lucy, one of our newest prospective members. Lucy, I promise one day you'll no longer be a prospective member, but a full-fledged member. That promise is good. And let's see, I think that's everybody here today. Okie dokie. We do have a couple of birthdays this week. Martin and Pep share a birthday on November 20. And so thank you for joining us today, Marty, and happy birthday. We will be sending you cobbler in the mail. So check the post box. We don't have any wedding anniversaries today, but we do have a Rotary anniversary coming up this week. That is Ashley Garcia, and she is a 3-year Rotarian. Now, for those of you who might not know Ashley Garcia, great opportunity. Make sure to go to your Club Runner mobile app, look up Ashley Garcia, and give her a phone call. Call her this week, November 21, and wish her a happy birthday. And it is an opportunity to reach out to a fellow Rotarian that you might not already know. Do we have any happy dollar announcements today? Crystal is itching to give us $1. Tell us, please.
So the university, Texas A&M University Kingsville, launched a campaign today. You should start seeing it on social media and media platforms. Your first year of college is on us. So we will be paying the tuition and fees for first-time enrolled students or first-time enrolled transfer students. There are some conditions to apply, but if you go to our website, tamuc.edu, we are very excited about this program. It's being funded through federal grants and scholarships, and we are super, super excited. More information will be coming in the following days about how all this program will work, but we are just super, super stoked to offer this to Texas residents and especially our future leaders of America and beyond. So thank you again.
Thank you, Crystal. I know that Jay Dean wants to know if this can be worked retroactively. Can he choose a year of law school to get funded?
More in the FAQ to come.
All right. Thank you for that. Does anybody else have a happy dollar announcement for us today? Scanning. And Richard, yes, please do give us $1 after you unmute. It's worth $2 if you don't unmute.
There we are.
There we are.
Anyway, I participated in the selection process for a Rotary Global Grant Scholar on Saturday. And we decided to give a global grant that's $15,000 from our club, $15,000 from Rotary International, so $30,000 total, to a man named Humberto, who came to the United States when he was 15 from Nuevo Laredo, moved to Laredo with his family. And he's now a nurse, works in COVID wards. And so he's going to go to England to get a master's degree in advanced nursing. So we're very pleased about that.
Wonderful. What do you mean $15,000 from our club?
No, from the district, sorry.
Ah, good. Wonderful. Much nicer. Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for the district for picking up that tab on our behalf. Wonderful. Thank you, Richard. Does anybody else have a happy dollar announcement for us today? Dawn, please go ahead.
I'm just being a smarty. My happy dollar is my husband just made me the most fantastic lunch ever.
Oh.
And I'm happy about it.
If you'll put your address in the chat box, then we'll all be able to believe you. All right. Thank you, Dawn. Any more happy dollar announcements? Okie dokie. Let's see. Charles is not here for our foundation update, but remember, the foundation, the Rotary Foundation, is how we do good in the world. This concludes our foundation update. We will have our next in-person hybrid meeting on the last Tuesdays of the month. If my calendar is correct, I believe that is next Tuesday this month. We will be obviously either in the front room or the back room of Cherry Tree. Last time we were in the back room. We sort of outgrew the back room, and so hopefully we can be up in the front room this coming time, but we'll figure that out. We do have table service of a limited menu. It's the usual price, and you may pay day of with exact change or be invoiced for that. And so please do join us if you are so comfortable, and bring along a fellow Rotarian that maybe didn't know that we're having an in-person meeting at Cherry Tree Restaurant next week. And also coming up, the 1st of December and the second meeting in December are working on our upcoming Rotary Board of Directors nominations and elections. So if you or someone you know would like to join or rejoin local club leadership, please let your very favorite director know so they can be throw their name into the hat. And with that, it brings us to our featured program today. Jay Dean, would you like to introduce our special guest if
I
you're
l-
done with your giggling fit.
I love that. That's a great picture of her too.
I
Good work.
airbrushed it this morning.
Look at that. No bangs or nothing.
Nope,
Looks
no
great.
bangs.
Looks great. Well, then I'd be happy to introduce her. Our guest speaker today is Nicole Ortegon. She is the outreach director for CASA. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. And what they do is they help provide a voice for children who've been neglected or abused, and they're in the Child Protective Services system. And so they come from all walks of life. They speak up for the child's best interest in court. They're not a foster parent. They're a voice. They do make a real difference in court. They get to know the child. The volunteers do get to know the child, gather information from everyone involved in their daily life, doctors, families, foster parents, teachers, etc. And they use that information to be a third voice, a third way. And they report to the judge in court, and they advocate for the child's needs. Everybody thinks that they know best, and so what you really need is a voice for that child in court. And here to explain to us a little bit more of what they do, and I bet to invite us to be volunteers, which they're always needing, is Nicole Ortegon. Nicole?
Hi, everybody. How are you today? I'm not going to take a lot of time going into the spiel about what CASA is because most of you already know me. I've spoken to you about CASA before. We are a nonprofit. We recruit and train volunteers to help guide kids in foster care, like JD mentioned before. The judge seeks our insight. We provide him with more information regarding placement and services for the kids. We are really doing well, especially in Clayburgh County. I've got to give kudos to Judge Carrillo. He has been a driving force in helping with recruitment. He's very, he definitely listens to what we have to say. When he swears our volunteers in, he talks to them about his expectations, and it's really helping a long way in Clayburgh County. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all the details and show any videos about what CASA is, because if you want a little bit more info, you're welcome to reach out to me. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is just how things have changed for our program in the midst of COVID, and then how we're doing with recruitment and advocacy during this time as well. So first things first, the CASA program, all of the staff has been working from home since March 17th. So that's been fun, trying to get used to the swing of things, working from home and providing training via Zoom. So when you come in to be a volunteer, you're required to complete 30 hours of training class, and typically 12 hours need to be face-to-face. But due to COVID, we are now utilizing Zoom to provide training. Volunteers are required to do pre-work at home, some reading and following up. And then we get together for 6 classes, 3 hours apiece, where I provide them with more information about how to be a volunteer. During the training class, we talk about all kinds of things like the CPS system, how kids come into care, the judicial system. We talk about trauma-informed care, adverse childhood experiences, trauma, substance abuse, mental health, really trying to give them an idea of what the parents were going to be working with, what issues might have been going on that necessitated a removal. And we also practice initiative by working cases together. I've got some cases that are fictional that provide details regarding the circumstances of a case, and then the volunteers get to tell me, well, who do you want to speak to next? And I've got transcripts available so we can actually practice a case and they can get that hands-on experience. It's been very difficult doing Zoom. Some of the volunteers don't turn on their camera and I feel like I'm talking to myself. Other times my jokes don't land and it's like crickets in the background. So it's been very difficult getting used to Zoom, but we're doing well. I did pull some statistics to share with you about our recruitment so far this year. I've sworn in 12 volunteer advocates, which brings our total number of active volunteers to 40. We have 2 waiting to swear in. They'll be actually sworn in on the 19th. And I've got 3 starting training tonight. So we're doing very well. I think last year I only swore in 8. So we're doing really well. I think that, making it convenient to do Zoom has really helped people come forward and find the time to go through the training process. So I'm excited about that. Now, as far as children are concerned, we've had 53 new children in CPS custody in 2020 so far, which brings our total amount of kids in care to 153. And that's in the service area that I'm serving. And that's only cases that we know about. In Claiborne County, we're automatically appointed for the most part, but in the other counties, which is Jim Wells, Brooks, Duval, and Kennedy, we are not automatically appointed. So there could be hundreds of cases that are lingering without advocates right now that we are not even aware of. As far as our cases now that we're covering, 49 kids do not have a CASA volunteer. So my goal is to obviously shoot for the stars. I want 100% of the kids that we serve to be covered by CASA volunteers. So I'm working on it. We're doing okay. I also wanted to talk about, because it just totally slipped my mind and I have no idea. Just, trying to keep everybody together during this time. We've been hosting bi-weekly volunteer meetings, inviting volunteers to come in and we talk about different topics. So just trying to keep them involved and keep them together and talking with each other so we don't lose volunteers. Sometimes we can do really good bringing in volunteers in the year, but we also lose a lot. And so the numbers never really grow. This is probably the best year since I've been working for CASA for 7 years that I'm actually seeing an increase that's steady. We're not losing as much as we're gaining. Let me think. Yeah, that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about. There was something else I was going to say and I completely spaced. So, I guess swear-ins, court, everything's been done online with Zoom. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Visiting with kids. How are we continuing to interact and see our kids and advocate for them during COVID? So basically, it's the same. We have a waiver that we allow our volunteers to sign if they're interested in still doing face-to-face visitations with their children. So a lot of them have opted to continue doing face-to-face visitation at this time. We've provided all of our volunteers with CASA face masks and hand sanitizer to keep them safe while they're advocating. And also, Zoom is allowed now as face-to-face visitation. So what we've been doing is for brand new volunteers that are first taking a case, we're encouraging them to do the face-to-face visitation at least the first time to start to build rapport with the children. And once they kind of get to know them, then we're allowing more of the Zoom interaction. We are providing training for our volunteers on how they can interact and engage with their kids, even through Zoom. So some of them read, they'll watch videos together on Zoom. We've got a volunteer who will do DoorDash and send food to the kid and then do DoorDash to send food to herself, and they'll sit and eat lunch together. So they're finding creative ways to still maintain connection with their kids even during this time. And I'm just really proud of all the volunteers who've gone above and beyond to really connect with their kids even when it's a little more difficult. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you, just a little update of what's going on. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. And so don't forget, if you would like to submit a question, you can do so in the chat box or wiggle your hand. We do have one that has come in. Have you ever had a volunteer that has had to resign because a case was so painful or emotionally draining?
Yes, we had a case recently with a child death, and it was very difficult because when the case came about, the child was still in intensive care. So no, we don't know what happened. I can't give too many details. We don't know who did it or what happened, but all we know is that the baby was going to die. He was on life support, and mom still needed to be visiting with that child because it was inevitable, the outcome. So the volunteer, CASA staff, CPS workers, they would take turns observing visitation between mom and the child, which you can imagine is incredibly painful. The child passed and the case continued to go because there were, I think, 4 or 5 other kids involved. So it just got to a point where the volunteer she couldn't. Mom was very difficult and was causing a lot of trouble and was being very aggressive, not physically so much, but just psychologically aggressive with the volunteer. And she had to refrain from that case. So in that instant, what we do as CASA, we don't just throw the case to the wayward. CASA staff will pick up that case and continue to monitor it and continue to work it and advocate for the kids. But unfortunately, the volunteer did choose not to continue with the program at that time. She's still very involved in our program, just not in that way. And we did also provide her with counseling services, CASA did, to kind of help her going through that trauma as well.
Thank you for that. And we have another question is, what's a usual caseload for a volunteer? You know, how many kids might they be assigned usually?
Great question. So CASA volunteers take one case at a time. So that could be one child or one sibling group. We are very good about not bombarding you with 20 children. So if we do have a case that has, 5, 6 kids or more, we typically assign what's called a co-CASA. So it'd be 2 volunteers on one case. But volunteers are only allowed to take one case at a time, sometimes 2 if they're comfortable and the supervisor feels that they're able, and 3 on special circumstances. And so that would be, let's say we have a case with 3 children and then mom has another baby. That doesn't just pile onto the first case, that becomes a second case. So the volunteer would take both. Let's say she has another baby. Again, it doesn't just pile on, it would be another case. So in those special circumstances, we may allow 3, but for the most part, we try to keep it within just 2.
Oops, I'm unmuted now. Great, thank you. Let's see, Dawn says, thank you for your service. And Allison is asking, will you have the angels this year to provide gifts for?
Thank you so much, Allison. I completely forgot to bring that up. We are working on the details for the angel tree. We're running into some difficulty due to COVID. We're not sure how we're going to provide the angels, if we're going to allow people in the office. We don't know what's happening with drop off. We are not sure of the details, but yes, we are going to do the angel tree somehow, some way, in some form. So we should be working on that this week, and I should have it out through Facebook, hopefully by the end of the week. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll go ahead and put my personal cell phone number in the chat box. That way you can always text to follow up.
Great, thank you for that, and thanks, Allison. For
Yeah, definitely let us
reminding
know about that, Nicole, as for Rotary.
I will definitely.
Thank you.
And Brenda patiently has her hand raised. Please, you have the floor, Brenda.
I just wanted everybody to know I'm a CASA volunteer, and I've been for a while now. And I will tell you that going through training, you get very emotional reading those cases. And I was very concerned becoming a volunteer if I would continue to have those emotions. And you are so focused on helping the child that emotions are put aside, and all you want to do is just make sure that they're heard and the right thing is done in their case. And so I can see a lot of volunteers struggling with it, and it is hard, but it's so worth it just to see them being a happy child.
And I gotta say, Brenda, I'm very impressed with you. I saw you interacting with a parent. And I think it's very important to consider that a lot of our parents have gone through their own adversity and have had their own struggles. And so you can't just sit back and shame them, and you have to try to understand where they're coming from. And seeing your interaction with mom and talking to her, and I'm sure it was a tough pill for her to swallow, some of the things that you were reminding her of. She wanted her children back right now. And Brenda had to talk to her about, you need some counseling services through the court. And so even though it's something you want right now and you're making great progress, we need to continue this case so that you can continue to gain counseling and services. Yeah. That way you can be the best mom that you can. And that interaction, I use it in training. So sorry, you're a celebrity.
Well, thank you, Brenda, for that. Do we have any more questions for Nicole today? specifically regarding CASA or even a pumpkin pie recipe. We've got her for the afternoon.
Justin, I saw Richard's hand up a little earlier. I don't know if he still has his question.
Oh, Richard, do you still have a question?
Oh, you're on mute, Richard.
I'm pretty sure it was about cherry cobbler. I'm a lip reader, so.
Yeah, Brenda, I was wondering if you could just describe a typical case, what one of the kids is like and why they're in the program.
So a lot of times you get called by a supervisor with CASA, and she'll present you with the case, and you do get information regarding how the case was brought to, the attention of the courts. And you review and you kind of see if this is something, well, for starters, it's not a conflict of interest, if you know of anybody involved. But everyone that my supervisor has brought to me she already knows my strengths and my weaknesses. So she knows exactly what's right for me. And then it starts from there. I get appointed by the judge. Once that happens, I get to meet the kids and everybody involved. And it does take time. I do have to, meet with people, and with COVID, a lot of it is over the phone at first, because I got a case starting during COVID, and it's 3 high school kids and 1 8th grader all involved in one case. And it's, I meet them about once a month, probably once every 3 weeks, and I meet on their front porch. I've visited the inside of the home because we have to, but when I meet now, it's on their front porch for COVID precautions. But all I do is I ask them how they're doing. And every time there's a court hearing on it, the judge will ask how they're doing. And he specifically asked CASA. So we are very much heard by Judge Carrillo. And I just let them know how each one of them are doing, what they want, what they need. And I love the fact that they actually listen to us, and all of our effort is very much needed and appreciated in the court system.
Yeah, why are the kids in the program?
I'm sorry?
Why are the kids in the program?
They've been removed from their homes due to abuse and neglect. So they are in the custody of CPS, and we are appointed to gain further insight and provide that insight to the court regarding placement and services for them. And so I forgot what I was going to say. That's another thing with Zoom. You can never remember what you're going to say.
But I've had a lot of cases where I've had cases that ended up in adoption with somebody outside of the family, that have ended with adoption with a family member, not immediate family, but a little bit distant. I've had some that, gone to a grandparent. And so it's been an array of things, and that's wonderful for me to experience it. I had not had teenagers. That was something I really wanted to do because I felt like I could be their best friend, which I don't think I am quite there yet. I tried joking with them, but I think my jokes are a little childish even for them. I think I overdo it sometimes, but I think it's a really good program, and I really, really, really try my hardest to be a part of it.
I remember what I was going to say now. I was just going to mention that CPS is bound by policies and procedures. And so when they go into the courtroom, they have to adhere to those policies, even if it's not so much, in our opinion, in their best interest. And so we can go in there and say things like, I want and I feel, and we're not bound by the same policies and procedures as CPS. So even if a CPS caseworker wants to make a recommendation for a certain placement or wants to make a recommendation for a certain service, they may not be allowed based on their policies, but we're not restricted. So we can go in there and request those things from the court, and the judge may side with us. So that's why it's really important for us to be there. That way we're the extra eyes and ears. I even saw a case recently via Zoom where the boy had been in foster care since he was like maybe 6 or 5, and he's already 11, 12. And he's now in a residential treatment center because they can't find permanent placement for him. His parental rights have been terminated, and they couldn't find permanent placement. So this boy is literally lingering in foster care until he turns 18. Well, the CASA volunteer found a relative who was willing to take him, and now the little boy is getting ready to be adopted by his paternal grandfather. And that was CASA who found that relative. And so that just, I got chills, guys. You know, it really does make a difference. We can really make a difference and help our kids achieve a happy, you know, a stable, nurturing home life. And that's what we want to do. And of course, we'd love for them to go home with mom and dad. That's our primary focus. But we also practice concurrent planning. So we're looking for other options. That way we can expedite this process and they don't linger.
All right, thank you for that. Do we have more questions from the audience today? All right, well, thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Brenda, for the extra information there. And trust me, I know firsthand the emotional toll that it can take when a joke doesn't land. It happens to me all the time. And so, just you hang in there. It'll be fine.
I'm just going to have to start doing didn't afterwards. That way they'll get it.
Well, sometimes you have to announce that insert laughter here. I carry around my own laugh track for that very reason. So thank you, Nicole, for that. If anybody has any additional questions for Nicole or for Brenda, then please, you may ask those after the meeting for about 37 seconds. We'll be hanging around. And also, Nicole has provided her phone number and email address in the chat box if you would like to stay tuned with that. So thank you for being here with us today. We do have, yes, round of applause. Thank you. We do have, pardon me, some upcoming events here. This Thursday, Rotary and Peace Corps have paired up for a webinar series, and the next installation is this Thursday at 1 p.m. Details and Zoom link are in your bulletin and on the website. Thank you, Jay Dean, for putting that together for us. And this Saturday, special news, Kingsville Symphony Orchestra will have its first in-person concert in the brand new facility that was supposed to happen back in March or April. In the before times, it got canceled. And so we are back on Kingsville Symphony Orchestra this Saturday. Your Kingsville Rotary Club is a banner sponsor of the KSO, and we have tickets. And so if anybody would like some tickets, then please do email me, and I will put your name on the list at will call. And so remember, KSO this Saturday, 1 p.m. And next Tuesday is our next in-person hybrid meeting experience. We'll be at the Cherry Tree Tea Room. Tuesday, noon, 12 p.m. Do join us. 2 days from that is your Turkey Jerky Day. Don't forget to send the love to the family for Thanksgiving. Lots to be thankful about. Does anybody else have anything for the good of Rotary today? Richard, what good news do you have for us today? Good news indeed, but you're muted.
Yeah, the Symphony Orchestra, I think they have two programs, one at 1 o'clock and one at 3 o'clock. You have to choose one or the other.
Okie dokie. I have not heard that.
Just if I can, and that's because the big sponsors get 1 p.m. and then everybody else, I think, can buy for 1 or 3.
Okay. I happen to know somebody who is supposed to be volunteering there, and so I will check to make sure that he knows that. Let's see. Pep, you unmuted, and welcome back with us today. Do you have something to share?
I just wanted to know whether or not JD had mentioned about share for the 21st.
I had not
He
yet.
did not.
Take it away.
Huh?
I hadn't. I don't. Go ahead.
Oh.
Let them know.
Oh, Oh, okay. Well, the share Thanksgiving meal will be also on Saturday, starting at 12, be over at 3, and we're doing drive-through and also deliveries to those persons that are incapacitated or, can eat and have no way to get there.
Thank you, Pep, for bringing that to our attention and for the good service that that program provides.
Thank you.
And it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Does
My
anybody
doctor's
else?
report- my
Oh, I'm
doctor's
so
report
sorry.
was good. My doctor's report was good.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. We're all thankful for that. We'll officially put that in the happy dollar announcement pile. That is worth $1. Very good. I'm glad to hear. Does anybody else have anything for the good of Rotary today? Okie dokie. It's time now to go to our weekly Paul Harris drawing. And we had a lot of competition this week. Bud did answer the phone, so thank you, Bud, for answering the phone and for the great stimulating conversation this week. Don't forget, you too can enter the competition. Every week is a brand new opportunity to make a connection with your Rotary Club. And now, if you will please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Adios. Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you, Nicole, for our wonderful presentation. Thank you, Brenda, for adding some wonderful, valuable information to that. And thank you for being here today. Have a great day, y'all.
Thanks, Justin.